Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Shri Prabhupada ki Shri Gaurnitai ki Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki Radha Landanishwar ki Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Harinam Sankirtan ki Ganga ki Go Premanandi, glorious the assembled devotees, glorious the Sri Guru and Grand Radha-Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Dashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Namaste Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12. Which number?
2.
2. Birth of Emperor Parikshit. Tasya Janma Mahabodhe Karmani Cha Mahatmanaha Nidhanam Cha Yathaivasi Sa Pretya Gatavan Yatha Tasya Janma Mahabodhe Karmani Cha Mahatmanaha Nidhanam Cha Yathaivasi Sapretya Gatavan Yatha Tasya Janma Mahabodhe Karmani Cha Mahatmanaha Nidhanam Cha Yathaivasi Sapretya Gatavan Yatha Tasya Janma Mahabodhe Karmani Cha Mahatmanaha Nidhanam Cha Yathaivasi Sapretya Gatavan Yatha
Tasya Janma Mahabodhe Karmani Cha Mahatmana Nidhanam Cha Yathaivasi Sapretya Gatavan Yatha Tasya Janma Mahabodhe Karmani Cha Mahatmanaha Nidhanam Cha Yathaivasi Sapretya Gatavan Yatha Tasya Janma Mahabodhe Karmani Cha Mahatmanaha Nidhanam Cha Yathaivasi Sapretya Gatavan Yatha
Ladies.
Tasya Janma Mahabodhe Karmani Cha Mahatmanaha Nidhanam Cha Yathaivasi
Sapretya Gatavan Yatha
Tasya Janma Mahabodhe
Tasya Janma Mahabodhe
Karmani cha mahatmana.
Nidanam jayate vachit.
Nidanam jayate vasit.
Sabrita gatavanyataha.
Sabrita gatavanyataha.
Tasya,
Tasya.
his,
His.
of Maharaj Parikshit.
Of Maharaj Parikshit.
Janma,
Janma.
birth.
Birth.
Mahabodhe,
Mahavire.
of great intelligence.
Of great intelligence.
Karmani,
Karmani.
anxieties.
Anxieties.
Excuse me. I have to, my eyes are a little fuzzy this morning. Activities.
Activities.
Cha,
Cha.
also.
Also.
Mahatmanaha, of the great devotee.
Of the great devotees.
You can see what type of mood I'm in. Anxieties. This is a heavy volume. Nidhanam,
Nidanam.
demise.
Demise.
Cha,
Cha.
also.
Also.
Yata,
Yata.
as it was.
As it was.
Eva,
Eva.
of course.
Of course.
Asit,
Asit.
happened.
Happened.
Saha,
Saha.
he.
He.
Pritya,
Pretya.
destination after death.
Destination after death.
Gatavan,
Gatavan.
achieved.
Achieved.
Yata,
Yata.
as it were.
As it were.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. How was the great emperor Parikshit, who was a highly intelligent and great devotee, born in that womb? How did his death take place? And what did he achieve after his death? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The king of Hastinapur, now known as Delhi, used to be the emperor of the world, at least till the time of the son of Emperor Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit was saved by the Lord in the womb of his mother. So he could certainly be saved from an untimely death due to the ill will of the son of a Brahmin. Because the age of Kali began to act just after the assumption of power by Maharaj Parikshit. The first sign of misgivings was exhibited in the cursing of such a greatly intelligent and devoted king as Maharaj Parikshit. The king is the protector of the helpless citizens, and their welfare, peace, and prosperity depend on him. Unfortunately, by the instigation of the fallen age of Kali, an unfortunate Brahmana's son was employed to condemn the innocent Maharaj Parikshit. And so the king had to prepare himself for death within 7 days. Maharaj Parikshit is especially famous as one who is protected by Vishnu. And when he was unduly cursed by a Brahmana's son, he could have invoked the mercy of the Lord to save him. But he did not want to, because he was a pure devotee. A pure devotee never asked the Lord for any undue favor. Maharaj Parikshit knew that the curse of the Brahmin's son upon him was unjustified, as everyone else knew, but he did not want to counteract it, because he knew also that the age of Kali had begun, and that the first symptom of the age, namely degradation of the highly talented Brahmana community, had also begun. He did not want to interfere with the current of the time, but he prepared himself to meet death very cheerfully and very properly. Being fortunate, he got at least 7 days to prepare himself to meet death, and so he properly utilized the time in the association of Shukadeva Goswami, the great saint and devotee of the Lord. End of purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's a very significant, we could say, that in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the sages of Naimishrana headed by Shonaka Rishi are very keen to hear about King Parikshit. First, they ultimately inquired about many subject matters previously, but here they're very keen to hear about, not just about him, but about his birth, even his departure, what happened to him after death, etc. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada covers many points. Now, if we were to ask you, is it still on the board or is it gone? Maybe it should go. Can we turn it off? Put something on there. Put a picture of Maharaj Parikshit on there. Possible or not?
Yeah, possible.
And somebody's actively working on this. Is the purport gone?
Yes.
Okay. So, I think you're all quite attentive. Is that right?
Yes, Maharaj.
Everybody was attentive?
Yes, Maharaj.
Everyone except for me. So, what would you say that we can learn, extract, apply, whatever, benefit from? Is there anything here? Is it just a story? Another story, another day, on we go. We've picked up the numbers, another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. I was there, badge, I was there, right, something. What can we learn from this? I thought you'd already moved on to Spain or somewhere. Oh, you came and went. You went and came. Wonderful. Wonderful. Did you see Prithu Prabhu there?
Yeah.
Is he okay?
Yeah, it's right.
Getting better?
You don't stay more than 3 weeks.
If you don't know Prithu Prabhu, he was with us for 6 weeks in New Mayapur. You know Prithu? From Germany. And he broke his ribs. He fell over and broke his ribs. When you get old, like I suppose he's 75 or 77, I don't know what he is. It's hard to repair, so he's had to stay for a few months in a farm in France, in Spain, right? Being recovered, so it's good to know. So what do you learn from this? I don't mean Prithu Prabhu breaking his ribs. You can learn from that too. But from this purport, there's many things we can learn. Huh? One thing. Okay, we'll go male, female. Okay, male first. this. Please don't report me, please.
Prabhupada was saying that a pure devotee never asks for an undue favor.
That's a nice point, isn't it? A pure devotee never asks for any undue favor. Well, maybe we can discuss that a little bit. Let's get a few other points. Yeah.
Krishna is protecting his devotees.
Krishna is protecting his devotees. Yeah, that's a very broad subject matter, which is a good, big topic. Huh? How does Krishna protect his devotees? Sometimes we wonder. Anything else? Okay, may I say something? Age before beauty.
Thank you. Death is coming, we have to prepare ourselves.
Death is coming, we have to prepare ourselves, okay? And the ladies?
Well, the perfection of life lies in
what is what?
the perfection of life
The perfection of life. The
lies
perfection
in
of
our
life.
absorption of the stories of the Lord. So
Perfection of life
if
is?
you're about to die, you better start to listen to Bhagavad.
Yeah, it's a call to carry on. You could say preparing ourselves for death, and you've added what that means. It's not just, choosing a good hospital or a good doctor or a good, some kind of program for leaving the body, materially speaking. No, it's not. It's a spiritual topic, isn't it? Very spiritual. This is the prelude of an amazing, we're going to hear amazingly speaking. In the upcoming chapters, in fact, they're all about really this subject matter, isn't it? Leaving the body in one sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how intelligent Kali is, because rather than start at the bottom, Kali attacks straight.
Isn't that an amazing point? Isn't that amazing? We don't realize sometimes, we think it's, of course we do try to pull down the ones at the top, but the ones at the top nowadays are kind of at the bottom in a sense. We don't have that many Brahminical enlightened leadership in the world today. I think it's lacking, isn't it? Do you think so? Enlightened leadership in the world today? And they may be, according to their karma, their conditioning, some of them may be thinking they're doing their best. I don't know what they think. But we don't, there's a great lack. And we can hardly imagine this. Jai Radha-Krishna. I love Jagannath's altar, it's phenomenal. It's incredible. Isn't it beautiful? Who painted this picture?
It's an artist in Hungary, Mirage.
Is it? They probably had to do it pretty quick, but it's a gorgeous picture. I mean, boy, I don't know, it just reminds us, I guess, of Lord Jagannath and the devotees. We see some devotees. You can probably recognize some of those devotees there, even though it's not exactly, say, photographic quality.
Rupanuga's there on the left-hand side.
Rupanuga Bhakti.
Yeah, left-hand side.
How old are you now, Rupanuga? Where are you? What's your age?
54.
How many years ago is 54? 1969 or something, is it? What is it? 69?
Yes.
Actually, how quick my brain still works. I used to do mathematics in my brain quickly. Well, 69 was the first Rath Yatra in London, but this is not a painting of the first Rath Yatra in London. I don't know if you were, I don't think you were there, Rupanuga. Maybe as a little baby you were there, you didn't know about it. Yeah, anyway, we won't get into that. It's another reminder of a glorious mercy descending down from Lord Chaitanya to Srila Prabhupada. Fantastic. And it's coming up this week, as we all know. So where were we? That very fascinating point which Srimad mentioned there. How clever, or how... Well, of course, Kali is, again, you can see from this purport, we sometimes think of Kali, some religions think of Kali or Maya as an enemy or something, huh? Arch enemy. I hate, something like, almost like our enemy. It's not like that exactly. There's another force acting without understanding the nature of Godhead. We sometimes think that we are the doers. That's Shringi, that's Shringi, huh? The son of Koshika Rishi, who was the unfortunate son of a Brahmana mentioned here, who cursed Maharaj Parikshit, as was also mentioned here. Another point, that we don't know how long we're going to live, do we? Can anyone say in this room exactly how many? We're talking materially here, not spiritually. You can be a clever person and say, I never die, I live forever. Right? But the body, does anyone know how long you've got in this body? Not exactly. But Parikshit Maharaj with the curse, 3 years, everything's orchestrated. There's another factor working here. Is that everything, whatever happens, yes, it's not that God is whimsical and we're all kind of like lifeless pawns in a chess game being played by the Lord. We're not. But ultimately everything is orchestrated by the Lord for various reasons. We haven't got time to get into all those details. And this was also orchestrated by the Lord. Now, how was that so? Because, as mentioned here also, the age of Kali was about to begin. Is that right? Or had begun, actually. It had manifested in fullness because Maharaj Parikshit was still on the planet. And when you have an enlightened leadership, even in our Krishna consciousness life, individually, if we're enlightened, then Kali will not affect us. Collectively, leadership can protect the citizens from the influence of the age of Kali. And in this case, all over the world, Maharaj Parikshit is protecting the world from the influences of Kali. And we'll find that out in upcoming chapters, is it not? I think so. I don't think you've covered it already. No, the story unfolds. Many chapters about Parikshit Maharaj, how he dealt with the age of Kali. He did give him accommodation, but under lock and key. Definitely the influences are there, is to protect ourselves from the influences. This is the Lord's, you could say, aspect. Someone said how the Lord protects his devotee. He doesn't just protect his devotee from being killed. Is there anyone in this room who is thinking, I will pray to God, please protect me from death? Some people may. Please protect me from sickness, this, that, the other. We may, in the neophyte stage, pray like that. Generally, an advanced devotee doesn't pray like that, does he? Or her. Do they? How does an advanced devotee pray? Do they pray?
Yeah.
No one here is willing to answer. We don't feel ourselves advanced. But we may know. Okay, yes?
Pray for more problems.
Please give me more problems. Well, interesting. You haven't got enough already? Maybe they solve the problems. I don't know. Yes.
So, yeah, I've always think of you and serve you.
Yeah, nice one. Always think of you, and certainly always. There's Prabhupada in 1968, pretty early on, and I guess it still applies to all of us. But Prabhupada wrote one letter to Devananda Prabhu, I think it was Devananda Prabhu, about how we should pray. My dear Lord Krishna, you are sitting in my heart as the super soul. You can cause me to remember or forget you. I please beg you, please always remind me of you, and always remind me to chant your holy names, always. Something along those lines, probably. So this should be our prayer. This is our prayer. There may be many other prayers. Generally, a devotee prays, if we pray. What do you pray for? Come on, be honest.
Devotional service.
Huh?
Devotional service.
Pure devotion service, beautiful. We may not be so absolute in our understanding of that, may not be absolutely sincere, but there, something is there. We want pure devotional service. Anything else?
Distribute more books.
Pardon? To be honored?
To distribute more books.
To distribute more books, okay. Are you a book distributor? Is he on Sankirtan?
Yes.
He is a book distributor, okay. Yes, we may do that. We may just, you could say it's not totally, free of any kind of motivation. Maybe it is. But it may be, I want to disprove all the books and what reason to plead. Anyway, it's a kind of a subject which could be discussed in it itself. Another one?
Please the spiritual master.
Pardon?
Please the spiritual master.
To please the spiritual master, yes. To please the Guru, to please the Vaishnavas. Ultimately to please Krishna. To become pleasing to Krishna. Very nice. What else? Anything else you may pray for? Sorry? Protection from mind? Well, yeah. I mean, when we chant Hare Krishna, in one sense, I guess that's inclusive in that prayer, isn't it? When we're chanting Hare Krishna, are you in conscious awareness of anything, or is it just a thing you do to get it out of the way, or what? What do we do when we chant our japa? Maybe we're just trying to attend to the holy name and take shelter. Is there any prayerful mood involved or not?
Please let me serve your pure devotees life after life.
Very nice. That's kind of related to it. There is many times we see that prayers of the devotees that they almost want to pray. Was it Prahlad? I just want to, for Dhruva, I just want to serve your devotees life after life. The devotee doesn't even want to go back to, he wants liberation, not even sometimes thinking of go back to Godhead as we usually think what it means. It doesn't exactly mean what we think sometimes. But to serve the devotees for eternity. Eternity, not just even life after life. And the devotee doesn't even mind, doesn't even mind one who's actually surrendered to Krishna. You can put me in hell, my Lord, if you want. You can do what you like with me, right? Do we think like that? Not usually. Yes.
To be an instrument of the spiritual masters.
Okay, and to become an instrument. Nimitta matra bhavya savisache. Oh, Arjuna, just become my instrument. An instrument for my will. Many people pray like that. Even other religious people who are sincere, they may also pray like that, to become an instrument of the will of God. Yes? Oh, these are nice things, isn't it? When you chant Hare Krishna, are we praying for anything?
For devotional service.
Yeah, you're right. A little further.
To be free from offences.
Okay, that's another aspect. The Prabhupada, I probably don't say, I don't know what Prabhupada says, but it is described we should pray with a prayer of Haridas Thakur, for instance. He prays, my dear Lord Mahaprabhu. Oh Mahaprabhu, I beg you, please, in Harinam Chintana, please, may you protect me from the offences when chanting. I don't commit offences, and I'm always absorbed in the sweet mellow of service to the holy name, or rasa in relation to the name. Yeah, many things are there. Prayer is an important thing. Okay, how did we get onto that? We got onto that because Parikshit Maharaj wasn't asking for anything as such at this point of time. There's another important point here. We may, in one sense, it says here the innocent. Point nobody brought up. Innocent. Why is Parikshit Maharaj innocent? It looks like he made a mistake, doesn't it? I mean, if you look at it from another way, I mean, you imagine if it's not quite the same, but Shringi would look to Kaushika Rishi as his father. He's a great Rishi. His father was a great Rishi, meditating in a cave, right? Is that right? And, he probably looked at his father as like his guru. Now imagine if someone came and put a dead snake around your guru's neck. What would you think? Would you think he's innocent? Is it a trick question, or is it too difficult? You can't understand the question, or what? It sounds pretty heavy, doesn't it? Why? Parikshit Maharaj, he's not supposed to be. He is a Mahabhagavat. He's Raja Rishi. Why do you get so upset? Why do you get so upset?
An arrangement from Providence.
Yeah, that's true. It's an arrangement from Providence. So is it surprising, Krishna's arrangement? I mean, it's surprising he does, in one sense. I mean, he's self-controlled in so many ways, highly respectable and highly respectful towards the Brahminical order. And here he is, putting a dead snake around the shoulders of a highly elevated Brahmin, saintly person, Is it surprising that, turn around a bit, your back's right to the deities there. Is it surprising that Shringi gets a bit upset?
As the son of a Brahmana, he should have been able to regulate his senses a bit.
That's true also. But you can imagine how you'd feel. We're not so elevated, you would say, but you'd probably be quite angry. Probably.
He was a child.
Huh?
Not if you're a Brahmana.
Well, if someone put a garland around your guru's neck, a dead snake, you wouldn't do anything?
I want to find out why.
Well, that's all right. On the spur of the moment, these are all good, analysis. But you're on the spur of the moment. It's not so easy.
Yeah. But that would mean I was in the mode of passion.
Okay. You're just a kid. You're just a kid. He wasn't mature. Huh?
He was presenting himself as a Brahmana.
These are all true points, but are we Brahmins? Are we so self-controlled? Maybe not. Anyway, we have too much of a Brahminical personality over here. Providence, okay, let's get back to Providence. But innocent. Innocent in the sense, as you say, it really isn't the doing, even Shringi in a sense. Everything has its part to play. Everything has its orchestrated. It's not, we think we're the doer. And we get very angry. Now Brahmin sees beyond that. Hey, we're the doer. This person's on my case. This person's offended me. This person, I've got to punish them. I've got to do something. Get rid of them. Whatever it is. You may be praying for that sometimes. Some people are praying to get rid of this person. Prabhupada prayed one time like that, wasn't it? Who was that? Mr. Nair. He said, I was praying to Krishna to get rid of him. Sounds pretty far out. Hope this is not going too far on that. We can't imitate that, maybe. We want to pray to get rid of the Mr. Nairs in our heart, right? We've got too many of them in there. We've got too many Shringis in our hearts, huh? Isn't it? Too many of the effects of Kali Yuga in our hearts. It's easy to point the finger, but we got to look at our own heart and see, root that one out. Now, one thing is, besides the fact this is orchestrated by the Lord, etc., etc., and the marriage preacher is indeed a pure devotee. This is an event which was to take place to show how the degradation of Kali Yuga begins and how it begins itself. It's a very important point, isn't it? That the head, when the head is off, the body doesn't function without a proper head. Society today is like that, of course, we all know that. I don't know, maybe I'm jumping the gun, as we say in English, but there's another point to his innocence. He teaches another major lesson, Parikshit Maharaj. Shortly after leaving the cave, what was the mentality of Parikshit Maharaj, even before Shringi appeared?
Was remorseful.
Very, very remorseful. It's called Anutapa. Now, we make mistakes. Has anyone ever made a mistake here? Boy, I don't know what type of association I'm in here. All conditioned souls, one of the symptoms of a conditioned soul to make mistakes, is it? Yes, and if you think you haven't, you really have got a problem. We make mistakes in our devotional service sometimes. I mean, we may not recognize them even. We're so much in illusion sometimes we think we're right. But let's say we are aware of it. What do you do when you're aware of it? Pardon?
When you're aware of the mistake, you try to fix it.
You try to fix it. How do you fix it?
Repair.
I don't mean like, I made a mistake, I put the key in the wrong door or something like that. Something a little bit, in terms of our, understanding or, practice or something like that, what do you do? And something, you may have got on someone's case, something relevant to today, Shrinky, in this case, Parikshit Maharaj, first of all, got on a case of Kaushika Rishi because he ignored it. And they apparently got upset and put the dead snake around his neck. Not the behavior because he's a Raja, you could say, justified as a king in one sense, but not in another sense. Maybe around the neck of another king, but around the neck of a sadhu sounds really strange. So what do you do if you make such a mistake? Pardon?
You beg forgiveness.
Okay, you can beg forgiveness. Good. Very important. If we offend anyone, especially a senior devotee, we should recognize it. But do we do that always? Yes, another point.
We could ignore the voice within us telling us that it was wrong and proudly convince ourselves that we were right.
And probably you can get a lot of support for that argument. Especially if you are clever or how you know how to put it on social media, you can probably get mountains of support. You just have to play your cards right. Get all the right support, the right arguments, make sure no one hears the truth, and so on and so forth. Make up stories if necessary. There's a lot of support for that kind of thing, that kind of approach. I don't want to go too far down that channel, but sometimes we do. We start to try to justify our behavior. Or we just avoid the issue if we can. How do you feel when you do that?
Terrible.
Well, you may do. I don't know if everyone feels like that. I really don't know. Because people won't say how they feel. Unless they recognize, because you've got to recognize that you were wrong. It's pretty hard to recognize you're wrong, isn't it?
Yes.
What is the effect of recognizing you're wrong? Whether it's in dealing with, even if you're right, it's wrong. Devotee feels like that. They feel it's my fault. Take the example of Maharaj Ambarish and Devasa Muni. Right? Ambarish and Devasa. Ambarish, did he feel like, I don't know, who this crazy guy is coming here and giving me all these problems? I'm going to get my own back on him. Did he feel like that? Not at all. What did he feel? Pardon?
He didn't take offense.
He didn't take offense. Not only did he not take offense, what else did he do?
He
felt he was the one who was responsible, and he felt sorry. I've caused so much trouble to this Brahmin. I'm such an offender. He fasted for a whole year as a result of it. He felt so bad. He wasn't aware initially what was happening or what was about to happen, and he felt so bad about it. So Parikshit Maharaj, as you say, that's nice. What else do you have to do? Say you offend somebody, and you recognize it. And a childlike tendency or immature tendency or a self-centered tendency we may reject and try to justify our behavior. Very hard to admit we're wrong. Very hard. Especially when you put it on social media. Very hard, isn't it?
It's actually easier to throw them out the movement.
Pardon?
It's easier to get them thrown out the movement.
Easier to get them thrown out the movement.
The person who you offended.
Yeah. It is. We'll hold that one on hold. There's a story. There's not a story. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Haridas Thakur. What's his name? Gopal Chakravarti? Or Gopal Chapla? I get them mixed up.
Gopal Chapla.
The one who offended Haridas Thakur.
Gopal Chapla.
Gopal Chapla offended Gopal Chakravarti. Look it up. I think it's Chakravarti, isn't it? Anyway, which one of them is? Offended Haridas. How did he? The other one offended Srivas. How did the one who offended Haridas? What did he do? He criticized Haridas Thakur in the assembly of devotees and others. And he spoke strongly against Haridas Thakur's statements about the glories of the holy name. He was supposed to be a Brahmana, and he was proud. pride. Pride. This is how Kali Yuga gets in, isn't it? Through pride. And if we want to be a victim of Kali Yuga, then just support pride. Gay pride, no. Got in trouble for that one. Whatever it is, whoever we are, doesn't matter what we are, doesn't matter what our conditioning is, pride is there. And I mean in terms of a state of, attitude, not in the terminology to define people, but an attitude. Then we have a problem. Kali is our best friend. Pride. Shringi was proud. You could say Pritchett was proud, but he showed also what happens if you're proud and how to deal with it. In this case, there's only 1-to-1. In the case of it was just he and Krishi, and of course his son came on board. But otherwise it's 1-to-1. And time had its own arrangement. He didn't go back and apologize. There's another aspect to that. The whole incident had to unfold. But in his heart of hearts, and this is one of the factors, Anutapa, time is fine. Anutapa means, what does kappa mean? What is the name of a chain of, what's it? Austerities. It's very austere, isn't it, to admit you're wrong. Quite a hard one. And see your own faults. It's the easier one to see what we, at least that we try to see faults in others, whether they're there or not. It's quite an easy thing to do, especially in Kali Yuga, to find faults in others. And that's usually our first reaction when there's a problem, blame someone else. So he blamed himself, and he realized immediately I was wrong, and he started to repent in his heart. Not very repentant. Real repentance. Repentance is not just some words. Oh, Prabhu, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Forgive me, will you? No. You won't? You're not going to forgive me? I've asked for forgiveness. I knew it was your fault. You may not say that, but sometimes we think like that. It's more than that. It's very deep. It really is a heart change. It's a real heart change. Change of attitude. It's a big breakthrough if you're fortunate enough to grasp it. It's a big breakthrough in spiritual life when we stop blaming others. We stop pointing the finger. Of course, if you're an administrator, you've got to deal with people. That's on another level, externally. But internally, that change of responsibility within. So he took responsibility, and he was very, very repentant for what he did. In the case of her, and he didn't, it's a different incident, but let's go back to Haridas Thakur. The devotee, is anyone, can you tell me, is it Gopal Chapala or Gopal Chakravarti?
Chakravarti.
Pardon?
Chakravarti.
See, I was right. I'm not that. I might be old, but I haven't lost all my memory.
I like to apologize for being wrong.
I'm not sure if I'll accept your apology or not. You're the temple president around here, and you've offended me in pub and online. You questioned me online. Now, you come here and apologize to everyone around the world now, because 9 million people have now. Well, that's the point. That's the point which we're going to mention. Is what happened is, did Haridas Thakur take offense? Did he take offense? Not all. Others did. Others chased him away. Hey, no, leave him alone. He's just a young boy. He doesn't know. Leave him. He's innocent. He was completely unaffected by it. He didn't make any issue of it at all. But others did. He completely, if there was anything to forgive, I forgive you entirely. Was that enough? Was that enough? Was that enough to free Gopal Chakravarti from the offense that he committed? That I don't think he ever apologized in the first place, but Haridas Thakur held no grudge against him at all. Nothing. He just wished him well. Is that enough? No, it's not. Even if Gopal Chakravarti had gone to Haridas Thakur and begged forgiveness, it was not enough. Why?
He has to beg forgiveness from the dust of the lotus feet of the devotee.
That's one thing, but what is that dust? We can look at it in a broad sense of the term. It's not literal, but broad. What is that dust? but it's probably hard to put the two together. But take it further.
So one thing was that the devotee may forgive, but the Lord may not forgive. He may see it fit that he receives due reaction for offending his devotee.
That's true. But then we see in another sense that Lord Narayan sent Durvasa Muni to Ambarish Maharaj. The only way you can get free of this is you have to take the dust of Ambarish Maharaj's lotus feet, and then I will forgive you. So that's true. But if he actually does go to that devotee and take the dust and sincerely repent and beg forgiveness, will the devotee not forgive him and release him from that?
Will the Lord not forgive?
Why? He did in the case of Ambarish and Durvasa, did he not?
I think it's somewhat described that the holy name may withdraw the mercy, but then after some time the devotee keeps on chanting, then he'll be reinstated. It may take some time.
Yeah, but let's get back to the personal aspect here. I mean personal, of course, all personal, but I mean personal in terms of the individual, not that Krishna has his ways, he can do anything. In the case of, who was that? Devananda Pandit or somebody like that, the Lord forgave him, even though he didn't, because Srivas Thakur. There are many different situations here, but let's take a straightforward one. Why did Lord Chaitanya not forgive Gopala Chakravarti? He said, I will not forgive you for millions of years, let you rot here in this world for millions of lifetimes. Why? Haridas would say, no, please. When the Muslim guards were beating Haridas left, right and centre, Haridas Thakur was praying to the Lord, please don't punish them. He was praying, you shower your mercy on them, basically. And the Lord didn't directly punish them. But there's another side to that. But why? It's a very important point.
I'm guessing it's because of his attitude.
Because of?
His attitude.
Attitude?
Yeah.
The attitude is always there, and that's related to everything. But there's another practical, very practical, something we have to understand. Because it was in public. Anything put in public, you have to apologize in public. It's not you and them, it's the forum in which you have spread whatever has been spread. And nowadays, my God, is that a difficult one? Is it not? Be very careful. Be extremely careful. Unless you want to have, real mercy from the Lord. To humble us to the max. But be very careful. It's in public. This is described. Because Gopal Chakravarti offended, in public he offended Haridas. It wasn't just him and him. And that's how it's described.
There's an interesting verse, I was just seeing in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where it says the nature of a devotee is you can forgive any offence. But the nature of Krishna is you cannot give an offence to a Vaishnava.
He cannot forgive it. But then isn't it that he forgave Durvasa?
I'm just saying what it says.
Yeah, no, but he won't unless that devotee does go to that devotee. I mean, Haridas forgave, but he didn't go to Haridas, that's for sure. It's not enough. You've got to actually change your heart. The Lord, as you said, attitude. The Lord is looking at the genuine. It's not enough just to go write a letter to someone. I've been told I should ask forgiveness. It's not enough, I read it in the book. It's got to be a real feeling in the heart. There's got to be a change of heart. Otherwise, nothing's really happened. The devotees say, I never took offense in the first place. But if there's any reason, I definitely forgive you. The other devotee may say like that. Because a genuine devotee doesn't take offense in the first place. He doesn't even see that there's an offense. To him anyway, maybe to others. But not to himself. Pure devotee doesn't take offense. He sees it from a different angle. But we should see that, if we want to become Krishna conscious, all this is related. If we want to please Krishna, if you want pure devotional service, if you want to be an instrument of Krishna, we've got to understand what that means. It's not just about doing things and bludgeoning everyone else out the way. We've got to understand our own part, we could say, like it's a challenge, isn't it? Especially if it's like on the up there. What a reaction it would be, wouldn't it be? What a society if everyone had this feeling of genuine humility. Spiritual, that's what we could say. Enlightened leadership, helping to inspire us like this. Anyway, time is flying by. All these points are so important, preparing ourselves for the time of death. They're all related, you can't go back. You've got to clean all these things up, before, you go back to God if we still got all these, unresolved issues. There's not so much one by one. God knows how many people we may have offended in our lives, or abused, or victimized, or whatever it's called. We have no idea. Jagai and Madai couldn't. What did they do? I mean, they were like helpless. I mean, how could they possibly? Because it wasn't direct Vaishnava aparad, at least not knowingly. But still, how could they possibly deal with all the offences or all the, pain that they caused to others? They wanted to. They wanted to do that. So what did they do to try to get free of that weight on your heart? It will come up. Believe me, it will come up. When the time of death comes up, all these things come up. What did they do? Pardon?
Vaishnava Seva.
They did Vaishnava Seva. And how did they get the Vaishnava Seva? They didn't concoct their own Vaishnava Seva, did they? Mercy of Lord Chaitanya, mercy of Lord Nityananda. What did the Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya's mercy, what did they do? What did the Lord tell them to do?
Did they build a bathing ghat, Raj, and then everyone came?
Yes, Madai Gata, to make a beautiful bathing ghat of the Ganga, and then serve every devotee when they came to the Ganga, wash their feet, serve every Vaishnava. You can't, goodness knows, I mean, if I look back from day one, how many offences I've committed to every devotee, I mean, goodness knows, we can hardly imagine. But to serve the Vaishnavas, serve the Vaishnavas, not to control them, not to, get on their case, but to serve the Vaishnavas, to serve them sincerely with their heart and soul. So, what to say? Preparing ourselves for death. Through this whole pastime, in a sense, is Bhagavatam is when at the end of this canto, when Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukadeva Goswami the most profound question, in the sense from which the whole Bhagavatam is, Bhagavatam blossoms. And what was that question? What was the question?
What's the
what's for breakfast this morning? I've been fasting for 7 days. I'm going to break my fast now. What was his question?
What's the duty of a dying man or person?
What's the duty of a dying person about to die? What is the duty? What should they remember at the time of death? Is it as easy? Did you read that article by Ananda Vrindavan, that girl from Kazakhstan?
Yeah.
Many of you have read it? Quite an eye-opener. Quite an eye-opener. If you haven't read it, I would recommend reading. Maybe you've got another comment on that, but I thought it was quite an eye-opener. Read it. What happens at the time of death? Oh, I'll just chant Hare Krishna at the time of death. All my sins will be eradicated. I will go back to Godhead. Just like was Maharaj Katvanga. He just had one moment left to live, and immediately he simply remembered Krishna and went back to Godhead. Why, you don't have to worry. So easy. You'll see it's not as easy as that. Not as easy. So what is the duty of a person at the time of death?
To hear about, to talk about, and remember the Supreme Personality.
Tasmat Sarveshri. No.
Tasmat Sarveshri.
Well, that's another one in Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavatam, Tasmat. Huh?
Tasmat Bhagavad Sarveshri.
Yes, yes. Therefore, as you second chapter of Bhagavatam. And in the next canto, right at the beginning, what does Shukadeva Goswami say? Answering that question in one line. Ante? The duty at the end is to remember the Lord. Simple. But how do we remember the Lord? How did you do it?
Somehow or not.
Somehow or another. Yeah, what's that somehow or another? Good answer.
When the body is like very bad about to die, by causeless mercy you can remember the Lord.
Without the?
Because when the body is just when you're about to leave the body, only by causeless mercy.
Causeless mercy, yeah. Causeless mercy. Causeless has no cause whatsoever.
Causeless mercy.
Just by chance. It's amazing too. What does causeless mercy mean?
You don't deserve it.
Yeah.
You don't deserve it, okay? What else? Do or don't. But what does it mean? We use it a lot. Causeless mercy.
Has no material cause.
No material cause. That's probably as much as we can understand at this moment. It has no material cause. It doesn't depend how many books you've distributed. It all may be related. How many artists you've done, how expertly you did the artists. It may be related, but it doesn't depend on that even. It doesn't depend on whether, I was the temple president of Subhu Street Temple. It doesn't even depend on that, believe it or not. You got it wrong, boy. You rethink your life now. You've guaranteed your ticket. Well, you got to be careful how you deal with these devotees here, you know. Otherwise, my God, you might have a few other journeys before you get that one. I'm wondering, I love this. It looks like a Chinese laundry shop. Where are all these bead bags hanging up there? I can't believe it. It's amazing. It's a new decoration of the temple. So you're decorating the temple with bead bags.
To remind everybody to chant the holy name.
Yeah, well, it'd be a good idea if they did, and then instead you should put one on each of these columns.
I'm going to do it. Is
it a help yourself system or what?
Yeah.
Help yourself.
Like a library.
It's a new introduction to the temple here. I like it.
Try my best. So.
I was wondering, you have to be pretty tall, don't you, to reach that one up there? Anyway, causeless mercy. Well, they have no material cause, so what is the cause? That's like,
the cause is the Lord's compassion.
Lord's mercy, Lord's compassion, causeless mercy. Why does He give that mercy?
In the Nectar of Devotion, He explains that actually it's the mercy of the advanced Vaishnava.
At first, the mercy of the advanced Vaishnava. Krishna, there's a beautiful, I think probably it's my most favourite, sounds a bit mundane, but profound, whatever, writing of Srila Prabhupada is Markandeya Bhagavat Dharma. Have you all read that, I think? And if you haven't, please read it. Where's that from? Yeah, and as far as I know, as far as we hear, it was the first thing Srila Prabhupada wrote when he arrived in the Western Hemisphere, isn't it? Actually arrived, he wrote many things on the boat, but when he actually arrived in Boston Harbor, this is the first thing that he wrote some letters, but the first kind of like document that he wrote. Very first thing. He just walked into Boston, or he just saw a bit of the Western world, and he wrote this poem, Markandeya Bhagavat Dharma. And it's incredible. I mean, it's absolutely... To me, this is the mission statement of ISKCON. The mission statement is the foundation of our very spiritual movement, life, whatever. Very profound statement. And there, Prabhupada writes, by your will, all living entities have come into this world, and by your will, they can all be delivered. So it sounds like, from that alone, it would sound like it's, because we understand the Lord is reciprocating with the individual's desire. Without the Lord's will, even your desire cannot be fulfilled. We may forget that sometimes. Even your material desires can't be fulfilled without the, you could say, the permit or the allowance, the grace of the Lord, call it as you would. Right now. So certainly, that, from a devotee point of view, can be understood. But then the next stanza, Prabhupada said, what did he say? It is my will that you deliver them. This is the most powerful, the mercy of the Vaishnavas, the mercy of the devotees. This is the way Krishna gives his mercy. We have to somehow or another get that mercy. Please the Vaishnavas, please the spiritual master, yes, but you have to please the Vaishnavas. Secret success, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj says, for pure Shuddhanam is to serve the Vaishnavas. That's a big topic. We will have to leave it there. It's over time. Hare Krishna. And I hope that we can think about it. Maybe some food for thought, maybe. Now we'll have food for stomach. We've had food for thought. Now food for the stomach, is it? Is it? A sad time. Any last comment? We can maybe leave it for next time. Whatever. How long are you staying?
2 months.
2 months. After roughly. And then where do you go?
Up north.
Up north. Okay.
And the week after I'll come visit them.
To the manor? Going to the manor?
No, Leicester.
Leicester.
Scotland.
Scotland.
Maybe like
Bonnie, Scotland.
Bonnie, Scotland.
Bonnie, Scotland. When you in New Maripur?
The week after that, I think.
Time I can't measure. Sometime in August.
Yeah. Yes.
Might be there. Well, I'll just fill you in with. Right now, Keshava Maharaj is in New Mayapur. He'll be there till next Saturday, and he comes back for Rath-Yatra. The week after, we have others coming. Sachinanda Maharaj is coming to New Mayapur the week after. For 4 or 5 days. Then immediately after that, back to the Kash Maharaj is coming from the 11th to the 14th. We have, I don't know if anyone else is coming immediately, but then a few days, a little after that, Radhanath Maharaj is coming to New Mayapur. First time coming to New Mayapur for Balaram Purnima, for the festival leading. And Madhava's coming, and Adikarta, and Mahadishna Swami, and Aravida, and Prabhu Vishnu Guru is coming. So many Devaki Mata is coming for the festival. So if you're coming, bear that in mind. It's going to be crowded. It's going to be very crowded. We don't know on earth how we're going to deal with all of this. You know, a handful of devotees there, there's like 800 guests or something. And if you do want to come, please volunteer to help. Great chance to serve the Vaishnava. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Lord Premanandi Jai. You have to apologize in the exact form in which you committed an offense or criticized or whatever it is. That form you have to apologize. Genuinely. And then Krishna may shower his mercy. Otherwise you won't get it.
Kim last
Well caught, that man.